In this video we talk about what is lean startup actually, and how are we going to deal with it, or how are we going to work with it in EP. The lean startup thinking is not brain surgery. It's actually a lot of just common sense, and I might tell you what it is and you go, well, I kind of knew that anyways. So don't get stressed about what lean is. It's relatively new, the jargon at least, and but I think it brings a lot of value to what we're doing here at EP, coming up with good business ideas. Before we get there, let's think about what entrepreneurship is. There's a lot of boring definitions out there written by professors, but the best kind of encapsulated thinking of what entrepreneurship really is comes from Reid Hoffman. He founded the company LinkedIn, and he talks about how entrepreneurship is you jumping off a cliff, and before you hit the ground you got to build your plane or your organization, and that approaching ground gets you very focused, and it's very true. I've seen former students who have jumped off the cliff and all of a sudden are phoning me saying, I need your help, or can you get me connected with so and so. If you get financing or money, that just keeps you going a little bit longer, but basically that's what entrepreneurship is, jumping off a cliff and building an organization. What is a startup? Startups are very different from a business, and there's a famous quote from Steve Blank, who's kind of the intellectual heart of lean startup, and he says a startup is a temporary organization, so something very short term, that you're building or you're designed to search for a business model that is repeatable and scalable. So what we're going to learn is every business has a unique business model. And we want to build a business that you can sell something again and again. If you just sell your car, you can't sell it again. But if you sell a used car lot, that's a repeatable business. And scalable means you can take it from small to big company. Okay, so once you have your validated business model, and that's what lean basically does, is validates that this business will work. You can write your business plan, which we do in term 4, to go get financing. A business plan is something we do later on, and a business plan is basically proof that you have thought about your business, and that comes from a fellow called Premjot Valia, who is a local angel investor. Lives here locally, but he invests locally in a lot. An angel investor is someone who comes along and with a lot of money and invests in startups. There has to be a better way to do startups. I think lean really is a better way to do startups. If you've looked at RRC, Red River College, in the last 10 years in our EP program, we've at least had 300 business plans made. And we know of one successful business actually still running from all those 300 business plans. It's called Iris. It's a mold remediation company. Be assured that there's a lot of successful entrepreneurs. They just haven't used their EP business plan idea. This idea that not a lot of these business plans have gone forward kind of talks about what lean is all about. That there's a better way to do idea validation for a business. The lean startup ideas have a lot of validation in the startup world. So people who are entrepreneurs and doing startups, they love lean and they talk about it. It was built specifically for the tech community, like the Silicon Valley types, and the fact is it also works in retail. It also works in most other business areas. The promise of lean is not you're going to make a better business. It's actually, the promise of lean is it's going to reduce the number of failures. So if you have a bad idea, it's going to let you know right away, and it gets founders or startup people focused on the customer, talking to the customer. There's a lot of tools that I've kind of put down in what I call the lean startup toolkit, but we're going to really focus just on 4 right here. And the first, I'll just go through it quickly, and when I talk to you, you're going to realize it's not really brain surgery. So the first tool we're going to look at in this web quest is identifying the pain or unmet need in the marketplace. I wish there was a blank that solved blank. The second is what we're going to call the business model canvas, and this is basically you're forcing you in 9 blocks to write down how your business will work and how it relates to customers and so on. And it's a fantastic thing. Next, once you have, but also you got to realize that every business has a unique business model. Once you make some hypotheses on and you put it down on your business model canvas, go talk to experts in the field and say, will this work? If it does work, congratulations. If it doesn't, they might suggest trying it something a little different, and that's what we call a pivot or an iteration. Iteration's a small pivot. And so you'll come up with a business idea, you put it down on the canvas, you go talk to experts. If it's great, you go forward. If not, you pivot and you try something a little bit different or try it a different way. And that's all that lean is. Why build a startup? Well, a lot of people think it's the best time in history right now to be an entrepreneur. Costs are falling. Barriers are being destroyed everywhere. Disruption and change, things are moving quick with technology. So this idea of making a dent in the world, that's a famous Steve Jobs saying. Do something that makes something that makes customers' lives better. Build an organization of lasting value.